What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Dope Life Podcast, the dopest podcast ever. And of course, your host, Coach AJ, Dope Life Coach, the dopest life coach ever. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit our subscribe button so that you never miss another episode. And if you could be oh so lovely and dope and leave us a rating and a review, we'll greatly appreciate it so our podcast can get out to dope individuals just like yourself. So today I have a very, very special guest to talk about overcoming many obstacles in life. And this person's here to motivate you in so many and inspire you in so many ways. This is, I would say, like a virtual friend of mine that I've over online. And now I'm so happy to have her on the podcast. So before I get into it, I'm just going to give you a brief bio on this person. And you're going to love this episode. I swear, you're going to love this dope episode. Tia is an award-winning motivational speaker, certified resilience expert. I want to emphasize on that one more time. Certified resilient expert and renowned mountaineer. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I love climbing mountains in real life. And I mean, like obstacles, this human being actually climbs mountains. Tia has dedicated her life to helping students and educators harness the power of resilience to transform their schools, tackle mental health challenges like anxiety and depression, and achieving lasting success. So ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Tia Banks. Tia, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited. The Dope Life Coach. We've been conversing for like a year and some
A year.
or 2 years. Like we've been conversing for some time now.
Yeah, it's been about a year. We've talked about you being on the podcast for approximately a year. So this is a year in the making. And I had the pleasure of meeting you last year at the Next Level Speakers Conference. I just want to say thank you for hopping on. I appreciate you taking the time out. And before we get into it, I start giving you some questions. Why don't you tell the people a little bit more about yourself based off the not just what I said in the bio, and where they can find you on any socials or your website and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was born in Lincoln, Nebraska. And so, yeah, I know. I saw your eyes go like this. Lincoln,
Nebraska.
Nebraska. Yes, there's a lot of corn. But in my elementary school, I was out of 500 students, I was the only Black kid. And the cool thing about that is that I didn't even recognize that I was the only Black kid. Like kids, we don't really care about, at least not at that time. It was just like Tia is good at soccer. I want her on my team. Like it was fine, but it wasn't until my parents, so they got divorced. And when they got a divorce, my mother, she went from, we went from a whole family household. We were going to be like the Huxtables to single parent household.
Mm-hmm.
And she's raising 4 girls on her own. And now we've moved from Lincoln, Nebraska down to Fort Worth, Texas. Okay. And it's like Fort Worth, Texas. Like
Fort Worth, Texas.
I know you know where Texas is. You've been to Texas a couple times.
I've been to Texas a couple times.
So I thought I was gonna see like horses and tumbleweed, but I stepped into my middle school and I went from being the only Black kid to now 50% Black, 50% Hispanic. And I'll never forget the first time my teacher, she said, "Class, this is our new student. Please introduce yourself." This is the first time I ever did public speaking. I walk up in front of the class and I'm like, "Hi, my name's Latia Banks." Yeah, I just told you my whole government name. Latia.
I'm never going to remember that. I'm just joking. Good. I'm always going to remember that.
So then everybody starts laughing, like they're covering their mouth, they're pointing. And I heard somebody whisper and they said, "She sounds like an Oreo." Ooh. Black on the outside, white on the inside. I didn't know there was something wrong with my voice. And so it was in that moment where I just said, okay, there's something wrong with my voice. There's something wrong with the way that I dress. Being me is not acceptable. So let me change. And I can only imagine like how many kids go through this where they change who they are to fit in. They change the way that they walk, the way that they talk, and the way that they present themselves. It's not them. And that was me. And I'm also a product of Dennis Banks. That's my dad. He believes in the suck it up muscle. You ever heard of the suck it up muscle?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, everything is suck it up. We were playing softball, playing catch, and he threw this pop-up ball. And the ball's coming down, and I got my glove, and he's like, "Hold your glove up." And I'm like this, but the sun was in my eyes, and so I hold it out. my glove, and then the ball bounces off my glove, hits me in the
In the
nose,
head. Oh,
blood gushing everywhere. And then my mama screaming from the house. She's running like, "What did you do to her?" And my dad's like, I got it, T. So he pulls me close and he's like, "TT, suck it up." And I'm like, "Dad, I'm 6. Like, my
yeah.
nose is broken." But I was always raised to suck it up. And so that told me that we don't tell people how we feel. We don't tell people when we're in pain or if we're in emotional distress. And so at a young age, with those things, not wanting to be who I am, identity issues,
Yeah.
and not being able to be emotionally intelligent because I just numb my pain, then it led me to a space of a lot of anxiety when I was younger, a lot of depression. And I just knew there had to be a way out of this
Yeah.
feeling. Like, there has to be a change with how we communicate in our family and even in our community. So I leaned
You,
into some things that you probably.
yeah, you'd strike a lot of chords there, not just with me. I'm sure with a lot of people that are watching or listening to this, where we're taught to kind of like, I can't speak on behalf of everyone, but I know in terms of like us Black kids growing up, it's like just suck it up because the world's so tough. We're kind of taught to just deal with it. So we suppress a lot of our anger, a lot of our emotions, a lot of our feelings. Here's the thing is it's like a pot and eventually it's going to bubble over and it could bubble over. And as teenagers or even in our adulthood, if we don't take care of it and unlearn that suck it up muscle.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. In some cases, I could see it, but being a 6-year-old and your nose is bleeding, potentially broken, you tell me to suck it up. I'm gonna look at you cockeyed. What do you mean suck it up? Like Dad, my nose is bleeding, sir. Like help me. But I
It
can't
was
imagine how
absolutely broken.
I believe it. But I can't imagine how many of us were brought up that way, and then we're wondering why we feel depressed and have anxiety as we get older, and it's not addressed, and we still continue to suppress our emotions as we grow. And
Yeah.
now we're having a lot of people that are just, I would say, luckily, we have people that are actually willing to unlearn that behavior and open up more and be more vulnerable, which I know is difficult for many of us. But in that piece of being vulnerable, that vulnerability is where a lot of your healing is.
Yeah.
A lot of your healing. So I'll ask you, now that you've worked through that and you're still working through that, I would say, because we're human, things happen. How do you balance your vulnerability?
So, how do I balance my vulnerability? I think one thing that I learned after experiencing like the anxiety and after experiencing the depression, I learned that I need to be a better communicator in how I feel. And it starts with me. And so I leaned into journaling. And
Mm,
so I think people will always say words are powerful, and they absolutely are. But let's not internalize our words. Let's get these words out.
yeah.
Let's get them out on paper. Today, I'm not feeling it today. I'm so overwhelmed. I feel so stressed because of this, and this. Let's get the words out on paper. And so that's one thing that I did. I leaned into journaling every day. And sometimes it's not easy
Yeah.
because sometimes I just didn't know what to write. But if you make a habit of it, like the words started to flow. And that's also when I leaned into poetry a little bit more. Like I would let my stories of my day turn into poetry. And so that was one thing that I did to balance the vulnerability is journaling, and then definitely meditation and getting in nature. And I did something that a lot of Black people didn't do at the time. Like I started to really hike, like
Yeah.
get outside and get in nature and let that be a healer.
Let's talk about you climbing these mountains since you talked about hiking.
Yeah.
What you went from hiking to now saying, okay, I'm going to climb mountains. When did that switch go off? Because some people would run away from such a challenge, but you took it head on. What shifted you to that?
Yeah. So I was on this self discovery, this journey of self discovery. So in addition to journaling and I'm
Mm-hmm.
getting outside, but I'm also leaning into meditation. So I'm leaning into a lot of prayer, a lot of meditation. And one day I came out of my meditation and I went straight to my journal and I wrote, I want to climb the highest freestanding mountain in the world.
Oof.
And I didn't know where it was. I just knew I wanted to climb the highest freestanding mountain in the world. And so I did some research. I'm like, this mountain is in Africa.
Yeah.
19,341 feet. Like, this is the highest freestanding mountain in the world, Mount Kilimanjaro
Yep.
in Tanzania, Africa. And it took me 5 years from the moment that I wrote that. It took me 5 years to actually climb the mountain. Like, it
Hold on.
started out.
Could you pause for a moment there?
Yeah.
Because I just want to, I don't mean to cut you off, but the reason why that's so powerful is profound. You wrote it out and it took you 5 years to accomplish, because we live in this world right now where everyone thinks that it has to happen right away. But you dedicated from that 1 year, it took you 5 years. I just want that to all sink in with y'all, because that, my ears just went perk up. Please continue. Please continue.
That's real. I journaled often. I have like 5 different journals within that time frame. And every journal says, I want to climb the highest freestanding mountain in the world. So this was a recurring vision.
Yeah.
And it was a recurring decision to say, okay, I'm going to do this. So then the planning started to get in place. After doing research, I researched guide companies. How much will it cost? How much money do I need? Who else is going to climb with me? I reached out to friends because I didn't want to hike this alone.
Yeah.
So I reached out to friends. I'm like, hey, I got this idea. We can do this. And really only one person was like, yeah, I'm down. They wanted to, but you know how when you invite people to the vacation and then people fall off as the dates get closer.
Yeah. It doesn't leave the group chat. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So, there was a lot of research involved in preparation to climb this mountain, and then also preparing my body and my mind. So I hired a breathing coach and I had a mental performance coach, because I live in Texas and the altitude is not going to be the same. Yeah. So I knew that I had to get my body prepared for this. And so 5 years later, I ended up climbing the highest freestanding mountain in the world. And it took us 7 days. So we were a team of 4. Yeah, 7 days.
That's dedication right there, for real.
Let me tell you, AJ. Can I call you AJ? Do I gotta call
Absolutely.
you coach?
Come on now. Come on now. Don't
AJ,
hurt my feelings. Come on now.
Day one, as we're hiking, they had to administer oxygen to me because I was extremely sick. Now I'm the kind of woman that I don't take a Tylenol for a headache. Like, I'm gonna just drink some water. My mom always told me, you got a headache, drink some water. You hungry, drink some water. Like, everything is drink some water. But I was extremely sick. And literally on the day of getting to Africa. And so day one, we're hiking and I feel fatigued. I'm coughing my lungs up. And I'm just feeling like I'm having an out of body experience. Like, I'm not getting enough oxygen to my brain.
Yeah.
And so I needed oxygen. So they put a mask on my face when we got to our first camp. And that was about a 3-hour hike. And I'm like, we got 6 more days of hiking.
Yeah.
This is only day 1. So I thought about it. I'm like, nobody else in my family has done this. Pat on the back for the fact that I'm here. Okay, I could go back. Like, I see the mountain. All right, but we're not gonna die. But here's the thing, like, I think it's moments of adversity where you have to allow your mind to expand beyond your physical capabilities. My body physically was just like, girl, we can't do this. But my mind, remember, I trained my mind.
Yeah.
And so I just use these positive words, positive self-talk. And this is actually a resilient skill.
Mm-hmm.
Positive self-talk and using the optimism, like, no, Tia, you didn't come this far just to come this far. Like, we're not going to be average here. Breathe. You got the oxygen. You're going to be fine. You got a team. I'm supported. So I think in moments where you're in your worst, your darkest moments, it's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. But there is light. And I had to hype myself up. I had to be my own motivational speaker.
Yeah.
And the oxygen reached my lungs. Day 2, let's go. Keep climbing. Keep deciding. One foot in front of the other. And the conditions don't get better the higher you get in life, the more success that you achieve. It becomes harder. The winds, negative 30 degrees. It's cold no matter what. My condition is getting worse because I'm still at 50% less oxygen. But I'm excited, AJ, because like every day I persevered past my body ready to quit. And mentally I said, no, body, you follow me. And I made it to the top.
Nobody, you follow me. That's a bar. That's a bar. Mic drop at that moment.
Yeah.
First of all, that is an amazing accomplishment and story. 7 days. How many days did it take you to climb back down? The
So
same
it was
amount?
6 days up.
Yeah.
And so we climbed, they call it the Western Breach. We climb this way so that we would ascend and that our body could acclimatize to the thinner air. And then we
Okay.
came down this way. So it was really
Oh,
one
okay.
day down. It was
Okay.
a lot faster going down. But I'm not going to lie. When I got to the summit, I was looking around. I'm like, where's the helicopter? Like, how are we getting down?
How we getting?
Where's the helicopter, a plane, somebody? Is there a sled? Do we sled down this thing?
Like, is it too late to hire the helicopter? Like, what are my options here? What could we do? That is so. I think I'll be thinking the exact same thing. So who's gonna help me slide my way down? I'm just asking. In the midst of all of that, you're climbing mountains. I think in real life we all climb our own mountains, and they always say at the top of one mountain is the bottom of another one, and that's kind of like how life is. Sometimes we just got to keep going and persevering. And you're right, there is moments. I think even I had that moment this morning. I was working out, and man, I'm gonna tell you, I was not feeling it. But I have a rule with myself that even if you're not feeling it, you're gonna do it anyways, because there's gonna be days that you don't feel like it. But this is like small. You just gotta work out. And I kid you not, I said, look, body, I know you tired, but we gonna lift this weight and we gonna get this workout in. That self-talk is so key. That self-talk that you had with yourself going up that mountain is what saved you probably time and time again. And when you said, no, body, follow me, like you're putting your mind in set and saying, look, I get it, but I'm the leader in this one. I'm gonna handle the reins. But I wonder, how is your relationship and your conversation with God in that moment? Because I'm gonna tell you, there's been times when I even work out, like even this morning, I was like, God, look, I know I'm tired, but can you just help me lift this, please, real quick? Because I need your extra help. How is your relationship with? I'm sure it was strong. How was the conversations, if you don't mind me asking? Because I'd be leaning heavily into God in those moments.
Yeah. So here's a moment of vulnerability, a moment of transparency. My relationship with God prior to was sketchy. Like, even though I was praying and meditating, like I felt like, dang, I don't hear what you saying. Like, I still don't know what my
I know
purpose
that
is.
feeling.
I still don't know
Yeah.
what direction to take. So I think the reason why when I came out of meditation, I got that message to climb the highest freestanding mountain in the world, I think that was my way to get closer to God, and I didn't know it. And the only way for that to happen was it means that I couldn't lean on anybody else but something so divine in the creator. And so climbing that mountain, it forced me to lean on God in a way that I never had before. And that's truly why I continue to climb mountains. You're right. The top of one mountain is really the bottom of another. I keep climbing because I want to continue to like seek God in that way, at the capacity that I need you. I need you to help me let this leg take another step. Okay? So that's why I climb mountains, is because I'm constantly seeking God, and I'm learning even more now how to how to have God without the mountains, but that really brought me closer to him.
In a way, also what I'm hearing is, although your relationship, because I know what that feels like when your relationship is shaky with your faith. Like I know that firsthand, and now me and God, we tight, like we tight, and
Yeah.
it's the obstacles of when I didn't know who to lean on or what to lean on. Is like I leaned on, almost in a sense, like just let me, like I hear him say, "Yo, just let me handle it," and it's hard sometimes when you've been handling everything on your own. But those moments when I hear it, just let me handle it, the amount of stress that just takes over. So maybe in those moments, if I could just think of you climbing up that mountain the first day when you were sick, not into it, in a weird way, not just your mind carried you, but it was God carrying you up the entire way. Like, just have faith in yourself. I'm with you. Just have faith in your ability. I'm with you. Don't worry. I'll make sure you're safe. I'm with you. Like, that's all I'm hearing and picturing right now is that I pictured you walking up when you were telling the story. I could picture you climbing up that mountain. And all I could, even before you said your relationship was shaky with God, I was like, God carried her up there, man. Because I don't know, personally, I ain't going to do that. But kudos to you. But I know if I needed to do that, and if it was called for me to do that, the only thing I would lean on beyond myself is like, God, I'm going to need you to get me up here. So take me one step at a time. And if you got to guide me, you got to guide me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
and I
think that's,
believe that God was everywhere. God was not just like God was in the guides.
yeah.
You know, there was a moment on the mountain where we were hiking for at least 7 hours and we still had several more hours to hike. And I'm seeing people coming down from the mountain. I'm starting to feel like, that comparison is the thief of all joy. Like, how come they
Yeah.
coming down? Like, we still got all these hours. I
Yup.
was so out of breath. Friend, I just laid there. We took a break and I laid on the ground and I just thought, what if you just take me down? Take me now. What if I just roll down this mountain? And I heard this deep, strong, powerful Mufasa voice that said,
Mm.
"Get up, Dada."
Oh,
Dada, it means sister in Swahili.
okay.
Don't you ever do that again. So I opened my eyes, and as I'm getting up, it was my guide.
Mm.
He was telling me, like, keep going.
Keep going.
So God was everywhere. God was in my team of other
Yeah.
hikers. God was in the guide, and God was in me for sure.
I
Because
mean, yeah.
if it was just me, like I never would have made it to the summit.
Oh, I can imagine. But that's so dope. With all of that in your foundation, like our foundation is everything, and we're talking about even just climbing. What are some of your core values or experiences that shape you to be the person you are today?
Man, that's a great question. My core values,
Yeah.
definitely leaning on faith,
Mm-hmm.
leaning on faith, leaning on community.
Mm.
I would say it's, you see my shirt, Pole Pole. If anybody knows me or knows the brand, Pole Pole, it means slowly, slowly in Swahili. And this is representative of core values. The P, perseverance. The O is for only fan, but it means not only fans, AJ. Okay,
Yeah.
good. For you viewers,
Yeah.
there are going to be moments where you got to be your voice of inspiration. And
Yeah.
I believe like the voice of inspiration telling me to keep going, that was God having that conversation with me to stir up the energy to have positive self-talk. The L
Right.
was leaning on other people. So I did not climb alone. I had two
Yep.
guides. I had four other friends. And there was a moment where the wind was knocking me down. I felt a hand on my back. And it was my partner in climb at that time, Chef Sheena. And she was like, no, keep
Mm-hmm.
going.
Keep going.
So leaning on other people, the community is huge. And just knowing like the E, it stands for every step matters. So the step that it took for me to meditate, to write in my journal, to say, this is what I want to do the research, to train my body, to exercise on a Sunday, 8 hours of hiking, like that step mattered. And the step mattered for when I said, I'm going to get on this mountain. And even though I need oxygen, I'm
Yep.
going to keep deciding to get to the summit of this mountain. And the step now is helping other people get to the summit of their mountains.
Ooh.
What are you struggling with? Like, I can't do that unless I've gone through the journey. And
Yep.
now that I'm going through the journey, I know what it takes, body, mind, spirit.
To make
And
it
now I want to
happen.
help you, bring you up.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I think that's one of the reasons why we kind of aligned, because when I mentioned to you a while back that I just want to help one person a day live and love their dope life through self-improvement, personal development, and if I just help one person, I'm I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
I've done my mission. That's the mission I have with God, and that means I've accomplished one thing per day. And we kind of agreed, like, yeah, it's all about the slow and steady pace. We don't have to go after everything so fast. If you do 1% every day, just one, and you keep doing that 1%, it accumulates over time. Just like how you said, you had to train mentally, physically for 5 years to climb a mountain for 7 days. So 5 years versus you did it for 7 days. It's kind of like how they say at the Olympics, Usain Bolt had to train for 4 years to run for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
When you think about going through it, and even what Pole Pole stands for, it's just about you constantly just you train, you take your time, and you allow everything to line up. It's not all about just having it right away. As much as you see something and you see someone's 30-second highlight reel, you have no idea how long they've had to train for that 30-second highlight. You have no idea. They probably trained and worked on who they are for years, years and years and years. As a person who's a former athlete, how has that discipline from, because I'm not gonna say I was an athlete to a college degree, but I know what it's like to be an athlete. There is a bit of discipline and a mindset that contributes to it. How have you added your athletic career into your speaking career, the discipline and the mindset?
Yeah. So I am a former professional basketball player. I played NCAA college basketball. I played in France and Spain overseas.
Gotta give your flowers, because you did
Yeah, I
do that.
receive
You
it. I
did do.
receive it.
Yeah, I'm giving you flowers. You did do that.
And after basketball, I came back to the States and I'm like, I need to do something else. One of my good friends, she's Benita Crouch. She's a flag football player. She's an amazing quarterback, but she reached out to me and she was like, Tia, you want to play flag football? I'm like, run it. So I played for 15 years and I got to represent the United States. I wore the USA jersey and tried out in Chula Vista, California on the Olympic training facility. And I would say my athletic career helped me with having the mindset of being competitive. I
Yep.
think one thing that is an ally for anyone who has a goal or wants to be successful, you have to have like some kind of competitive edge about you, like a desire to want to win. And so playing sports like really helped birth that competitive side of me. It really
Mm-hmm.
helped stir up the ingredients of like, I'm not in it to play. Like, I'm not here just for kicks and giggles. I
Yeah,
want to win. So, the way that I incorporate that into speaking is just continuing to have that mindset of like, I want to win, but in a way where I want to not just speak. I don't want to just get on stage and talk. I want to transform your life when you hear this message. I want my story to reach your heart. I want my story to reach a part of you that doesn't just inspire you for the moment, but it activates a desire to change forever.
that's dope. And flag football, I gotta come out and see you play, because I've seen flag football and I'm just like, it's Like I've seen like video clips of people like running and then like it's all cardio mainly to me. Like it's just straight like you're boogieing when you get it. But
So I'm
honest,
retired now, AJ. I'm not
oh,
gonna
you're
lie.
retired
I'm
now?
retired.
Aw, man.
My focus is speak and climb mountains. That's it. I
That's
do not.
it. That's cool.
My
If you have
team.
any videos, just send me to them real quick.
You know what? I'll send you. I think I got some videos.
There you go. There you go.
I was a beast.
I that's why I could picture it. Like that's why I'm like, man, I'd love to see you play. Beyond being a speaker and climbing mountains, who is Tia Banks at her core?
Man, I'm an auntie. I really am. Auntie,
I love isn't it dope being an auntie though too?
it's so dope. I love my nieces and nephews. BJ, the 9-year-old, he just started I think he has a phone.
Okay.
He sends me voice audio messages. He asks me, Nanny, they call me Nanny. Nanny, how
Okay.
was your day? How are you doing? And I'm just like, this is the next best thing to
It's
being a
the
parent.
best thing ever. I
And
can't
it
lie.
might be a little bit better because when they get on your nerves, if you smell a smelly diaper, like go on back to your mama. I love it.
Like, get on.
I get to be the cool auntie. My goal is to be the world's best auntie.
I
I
love
bought an SUV that has 3 rows.
No, you didn't.
I did because I and I ain't got nobody else. I don't have no kids. I don't have no pets. It's just
You don't
me.
take them with you.
We going. We going camping. Nate's gonna pick you up. We're gonna go to Chuck E. Cheese. We're gonna go
I
on a
love
nature hike.
it.
I pick them up from school sometimes. I take a lot of pride in being an auntie. I really do.
I,
Um,
I love you said that the fact you said auntie because literally that's what my nephews call me. My partner has 2 kids, and I kid you not, like they're at that age where I could text them, call them, video chat. And my oldest nephew, just got a phone, and like there'll be random moments where he just texts me, and I'm like this, like I love it. I can't
yeah,
wait till the middle one gets one. The younger one, he's like 4, turning 5, so I gotta wait for him. But it's
yeah.
like this chapter of like that, like you're saying, the communication with them. I love every aspect of it. It's so much fun because you get to just have conversations with them on a different level. And I ain't gonna lie, those boys have definitely set me up to become a parent in a way because I haven't changed no diapers to that degree, like none of that. But just like being around them and how to like interact, and sometimes there's moments where they may have a bit of doubt, and well, the oldest one sometimes does, and I'm just like, no, 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 you got this. You're gonna give it a shot.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. You got this. My middle nephew is a soccer head. He loves soccer, and I could see him being in like, some type of league or some type of club. It's dope. You're right. Like that part is
Yeah.
dope. Seeing kids grow up around that age is dope. My partner's oldest daughter, she's she's funny to talk to. Like it's fun, and just seeing her even grow and seeing my partner's younger son grow. It's just like it's so dope. But you hit the nail there. Being an aunt is so cool. Kids are
Mhm.
mad dope. I ain't gonna lie. Kids are mad dope. Now,
They
with
are.
that being said,
Well, hold
I
hold
always
up,
ask.
AJ. I
Oh,
want
sorry.
to
Go
say
ahead.
one more thing to that
Yeah.
because you asked like who I am to my core. It is an
Oh, I got
auntie,
you.
but I think it's an extension of just like I am a lover. Like I love people. I really
Yeah.
do. I love my friends. Like I love my people. I love the kids that I get to see and speak to, the educators that need that special care, that special hug to like know that they're supported. I love
Yeah.
animals. I love animals. They make me so happy. I'm even like to a point where I'm like, don't kill that spider. Like, let's
Mm,
get a broom, let's sweep it and let it go outside because you're actually in the spider's territory. The spider didn't ask to be here.
facts.
You probably built the house in land where this was where the only thing I don't really care for is them dang roaches. They don't make sense. Roaches and snakes.
Oh yeah, you're in Texas, so yeah, you get them.
Yeah. Roaches and snakes is giving absolutely not. But for the most part, to my core, I am a lover for sure.
That's so dope. That's dope. And I'll ask you this: what makes you feel the most dope?
What makes me feel the most dope? Man, there's so many things that let me show you something. Can I step away for a second?
Yeah, do your
All
thing.
right. So, I feel the most dope. Like I love climbing mountains, but like whenever I speak, like kids will do stuff like this and write me handwritten notes.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's personal. I feel the most dope when I know that just like you, if I helped one person, even if it's in a room of thousands, if there's
Yeah.
just one person that said, Tia, I feel more supported. I was struggling with anxiety and depression. My family didn't accept me because of who I loved or who I liked. And
Yeah.
after listening to you, like, I really needed to hear that. I'm ready to keep pushing forward. I feel like I can overcome anything. Like that makes me feel the
Yeah.
most dope for sure. Like I got purpose.
Yeah. I think that also the fact that I mean, I would kept those same letters too, but the fact you have them so close to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
I
get
got
that.
I got a lot more friends. Like I keep a jar.
That's dope, man.
These are called sugar cubes and I did a camp with Lisa Nichols and they all the kids just wrote a whole bunch of beautiful notes in here and I think those things that's like the positive self-talk too.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that in a way that pours into you by you seeing those notes and hearing the words of the expression of like, hearing your voice today really helped me. So thank you. I always say like it's a payment almost sometimes in itself. It is a payment in itself of when someone says to you like, yo, you really helped me today and I appreciate that. That that means a lot. And it makes it worthwhile of what we're doing and how we are out here to help people and, help them live the life that they want to live. I think that if that's not dope, I don't know what dope is. But
Man,
yeah,
that's too dope. That is so dope.
that is so dope. Well, I want to say thank you for hopping on the podcast today. We had a dope conversation. This was long in the making, and I'm glad we had a time to carve out a bit of a moment to do this today. And I hope I can have you back on for another
Yeah.
discussion if you're up for it, and another episode. And for those who are watching, I hope you enjoy the episode. And you got a lot of great gems from today. And if you want to follow Tia, where can they find you?
So Instagram, the Tia Banks, TheTiaBanks. Look up Tia Banks. You can Google Tia
Yes.
Banks and you'll find me. Website www.tiabanks.com.
Yeah, I'll be putting all the information in the description anyway, so you guys check out the description. All of her information is there. And again, I hope you guys truly, truly, truly enjoyed today's episode. And as always, y'all, you know how we do. Walk with peace and walk with love.